Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this week's episode of Teep Talk. I am your host for today, Russ, and today we have a special guest. We have Dakota, the Rooster Ballard.
What's up, baby? How are you?
How are you doing, man?
Good, brother. Just another day in paradise. You know it. Living the dream.
That's right. So, just so people know, I know Dakota. We used to arm wrestle. He used to arm wrestle. I still arm wrestle today. Met him at Jason Gully's practice. Tim Bresnan was there at the time.
How long ago was that too?
I don't know, like 2000, maybe 2021, maybe.
That's when I first started arm wrestling.
I think so, either 2021 or 2022, one of those years.
It probably was 22, because I can't even recall. I mean, it's but it's so funny you say that, talking about arm wrestling, dude. I'm telling you, I tell people that's where my knockout power comes from, brother. You know what I mean? Go ahead.
I agree with that. So I go to MMA class, and these guys, when I clinch onto them, they're just like holy crap, dude! Like your forearms are strong. So I'm like, I agree with that.
Well, and the thing is too, like the like a punching mechanic, right? So if you watch a lot of people punch, I'll try to do this best I can on the camera. When you watch a lot of people punch, when they punch, right, they'll hit a surface and their wrists will give.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Well, that takes away the power of the punch. Well, as an arm wrestler, everything is, they're still big old meat sticks too, baby. But everything is trained to keep the wrists straight, right? And keep the arm stable where the wrist doesn't budge inwards or outwards, right? So these things. So, dude, I told people this, man, even before I even started fighting, I was like, hey, as far as arm wrestlers go, they're average dudes. So do they know how to fight? No, but I'm going to tell you, if an arm wrestler punches you, bro, it's gonna mess you up, because their tendons and ligaments are built to be solid here, right? So, and that goes back to even old times, man. Mike Tyson, he used a rice bucket. There's a lot of boxers that that uses rice bucket. I do the rice bucket 3 days a week still. You know what I mean? I'm still doing the rice bucket, keep my hands and tendons. It's good recovery, and to keep my hands strong. So yeah, man, that's people I don't think people really realize the correlation there, but I 100% will tell people that's why I punch hard, is because of that.
Yeah, whoever watches this, I do highly recommend a rice bucket too. I got one last year, and I started doing these movements and everything to help me out. And I mean, I feel a pump, but it feels great, and I feel recovered after I'm done practicing or even training. So it feels good.
Yeah, and and it'll make the hand thicker. My hands, dude. I used to have decently. I mean, Stephen Hollis commented on this about 6 months ago. He grabbed my hand and he said, you ain't got that arm wrestling hand anymore. I can feel it. I'm like, you motherfucker. Yeah. And that's the truth. I don't have that thickness and fullness of just that hand, when you're arm wrestling all the time. But I will say that my hand is still relatively dense, and the rice bucket, will make your hand thicker over time if you continuously use it. And when I was arm wrestling, I was doing the rice bucket 5 to 6 days a week. So get your numbers. I don't know if you're doing that, but if you aren't, get your numbers up, buddy.
Well, I'll start that. I'll start that this week then.
Yeah. How's that been going for you? You've been training pretty consistently, and
yeah, I've been training. I train 5 days a week.
Cool.
And for arm wrestling, usually I train 6 days a week in the gym, just powerlifting movements. What's surprising, and I didn't expect this to happen. It was after his match though, but I had a pin on Robbie Russell, left-handed. And when I got that pin, one of the guys in the back goes, "Holy shit!" And I'm sitting here I was shocked too when I got the pin on him, but I know a win is a win, and a pin, a pin is a pin and everything.
Yeah, no, absolutely, bro. Yeah, I mean, I'd count that as a win. Robbie Russell, if you watch this, you suck, dude. Get your shit together, brother. No, that's my boy, man. That's my brother from another mother, and of course, I stepped away from the sport, so I'm not as close to the guys that I used to be. But I mean, we keep in contact. But yeah, Robbie's a dude, man. And even left-handed, right-handed, don't matter. Getting a pin on Robbie is something to be proud of yourself for. So that's super dope, man. Yeah, very cool. I miss it, bro. I do. I just it's so funny. I quit arm wrestling because I was so tired of my shoulders and my ligaments hurting, and my elbows and stuff like that. And then I go into fucking MMA where I get punched in the face. You know what I mean? Like I'm just a glut for punishment, brother.
Hey, man, it works. Well, let's see here. So I got some notes written down.
Yeah.
So your first fight,
yeah,
was against Tony. It was the main event. I've been trying to study a little bit on you and watching some of your stuff. It was at Nashville Underground, and it was a round 2 TKO, if I'm not mistaken.
It was a round 2 TKO. And
let's talk about that. So tell me about this main event.
Well, what's crazy is the guy I was supposed to fight backed out originally, which I've had so many opponents back out over these past 3 fights, dude. Like it's been crazy. Nobody wants to fight. Everybody says they want to be a fighter, and then 2, 3, 4 weeks out, they back out for whatever reason. I don't know. Whatever it is they give it. It just happens. So, but for this fight in particular, main opponent backed out like, I don't know, bro, 2 weeks before my fight, and so. We couldn't find somebody, bro. You know what I mean? Like, even though I was a debut, of course, with my size and this and that, you know what I mean? Like, obviously people at the amateur level, like they're scared, whatever. I don't know, man. It's amateur. I mean, like, I don't get it, bro. Amateurs, you're supposed to learn and lose. If you lose, it doesn't matter. Cause when you turn pro, it all wipes away. So, but this dude came in, so my buddy Jalil, it was his cousin. And he's like, sure, dude. He's like, I've been wanting to fight. This would be cool. If it's my only fight, just get in the cage. And so he took the fight, dude. You know what I mean? I came in, I was like 235, and then dude came in and he was like 206. Like it was,
wow.
Yeah. He was a little guy, man. Honestly, like kudos to him, and also kudos to him. He's been my toughest opponent so far. Right. So, dude can take a punch. That's for sure. And I think I could have got him out of there a little bit quicker than I did. Obviously, one, no experience in my first fight. And two, he ran from me the whole time. So I was just chasing him down. And then, I cut him off the second, I'm pretty sure I think Ronnie, which is one of my coaches, one of them said something to me that on the stool was like, cut him off, step up, throw the left hand. When he turns and it'll be there. That's exactly what I did. And it dropped him. And what was funny about that too, brother, is Jalil who is a very good friend of mine. He's like one of my best friends. He was cornering his cousin, of course. And he threw the white towel into the cage. Well, he threw it so high, it got caught in the rafters and it didn't come down. So the ref didn't even see it.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's how that's a funny little story with that fight, man. So another thing too, man, I came out the gate. I like the week of, or it might have been the day before. I was like, dude, let's do a flying teep. You know what I mean? Like, let's just come out the gate, throw a flying teep. And we practiced it the day before. We practiced it in the back before the fight. Excuse me. And it actually looked pretty decent. It looked okay. I totally flopped to the cage, bro. It looked so bad, dude. I don't even know what I did, bro. You know what I mean? Yeah. So a lot of good memories from that specific fight. Super, super cool. So kudos to Tony, man, for stepping in there. I mean, I don't even think he had any like prior MMA training, like very, very little. Before that. So yeah, kudos to him on that one. But yeah, that was a crazy experience, man, especially my first fight being the main event. How wild is that, right?
Yeah, it's pretty wild. I mean, you would never expect usually you would expect like to be under even the co-main event, but main event.
Well, yeah, it was like an amateur, of course, like underground event, right? And of course, being hometown guy, I sold a shit ton of tickets, so that's actually how I got the main event spot, which was cool. So yeah, man, that was a cool experience. And then I'd imagine you say you've been studying, so I guess we're gonna talk about the other fights as well.
Oh yeah, and the best part about these other fights is we know now that you can go to a round 2 and even a round 3 and even possibly even round 4 and 5 because we know you have that cardio there. It looks like it.
Yeah, man. My cardio is something that I have been taking serious, especially here lately. I got a lot of muscle mass, and it's it takes a long time to build the cardiovascular system, especially for fighting, bro. Anybody that's trained MMA or that's even trained jiu-jitsu, that wrestled in high school, like any form of combat, they know how much cardio it takes to sustain a level of where you're dangerous for a long period of time and not gas yourself. So, man, I'm doing cardio, of course, everyday training, but even with strength conditioning and, making sure that although, that did go in the second round, whatever, the last 2 fights were very quick. Although that is what it is, I am prepared for a war if it does happen. And I will be every time. And I'm not going to ever, no matter how bad I think one of my opponents suck, if I don't think they're not even worthy to be in the cage with me, I'm not ever going to underestimate anybody, because especially at heavyweight, like I was saying before we start recording,
yeah.
At heavyweight, bro, it takes one punch, and you're done. So
and the thing is about that too is heavyweights, they get tired very easily.
Yeah.
And and the cool part is when people get knocked out within a couple seconds of the first round, everyone's always like, oh man, this guy's like a one-hit wonder. Like he's never done like round 2 or round 3, but you've already proven already that you've done that round 2. And I've seen some of your training videos on YouTube and looks phenomenal.
Yeah, thanks, brother. Yeah, what's super cool about even all 3 fights, even the first one going to the second round. I mean, if you were to study my first fight, it would absolutely do you no good, because I am 10 times the fighter that I am in that fight, right? Well, if you study the second and the third, well, they're so quick, they don't even show anything. So what's really cool about the position I'm in right now is, yeah, like knocking people out kind of scares people. But my coach made a good point, and really I'm the same mindset as my coach. If I saw a dude that was 3-0 and he just knocked 3 dudes out and whatever, I wouldn't even be scared. I was like, well, he just knocked him out. You know what I mean? So The point that I'm making is like, no one really knows just how skillful I am, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so that's a very cool thing. It's a very cool position to be in. And I would love to show that off. I'd love to, show exactly where I'm at, how far I've came. And to also remind you, I've only been training a year and 3 months. A lot, people don't understand that too. People think that, I've been doing this for a minute. I just started last May, so it's been a journey, and I've sacrificed everything. And, but yeah, so it is a cool spot to be in, to like, there's still that unknown. Well, is Dakota really that good? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. And that's a great mystery right there.
Yeah. Yeah. It's something that I'm going to try to hold on to for as long as I can. If I can go in there and knock motherfuckers out in 5 seconds every time, I'm going to do it.
Well, talking about knocking people out, let's get into this second fight here. You go up against a guy named Barron in Jackson, Tennessee, black tie boxing. 49 seconds. Let's get into that. I saw a couple times where he was trying to get you a little bit there, and you backed away just a little bit, but eventually you got him with that left.
Yeah.
And then he went down. So let's run me through that.
Yeah, for sure. So, that fight, I wanted to come out calm, cool, collected. I also didn't think he was that good. There are some things that, when me and my coach, my main coach, his name's Eddie, when we're kind of watching film on people, you know, and let me say, I don't think I've faced anybody that's been great. And I'm probably not going to. Heavyweight sucks. And I'm probably not going to see somebody that's a really good athlete or a really good fighter until I probably turn pro. You know, maybe I can get one or two beforehand, which would be great. I would love to challenge myself before I go to that pro level. But if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. But with me saying that, you know, we go, okay, well, what if you were to say they're good at something, what are they good at? You know, so we kind of studied him and saw, you know, what was he good at, you know, that was for him, something that what could he hit us with? And so, of course, we game planned off that. And I want to go in there calm, cool, and collected. Really, you know, I really at the time was really developing good head movements and you really at a point where I could see shots and my eyes were developing. So we wanted to kind of just, the game plan was to let him kind of do his thing. And like, he was going to give me the opening to the KO. And, you know, he came out, he threw a leg kick, landed. We knew that from the fights we saw that he liked throwing that front kick, the front body kick. And so I was actually prepared for that. And then if you I know you watched the fight, so he throws a leg kick, you know, whatever. I'm just reading him. He then blitzes me, I think he blitzes me, hits me with a right, hits my eye here, which I didn't have a chance to see this last fight, but the first two fights, it seems like I needed to be hit to be woken up in the moment. You know, like, okay, hey, we're here. You know what I mean? He hit me. All right, now let's get to work. He hit me. It kind of grazed my eye. It was a decent hit. And then he threw a body kick. I think it kind of got under, whatever. I mean, not really damaging me. At this point, I'm collecting data, right? Well, then he steps up, throws the front body kick. I catch it, hit him with a straight left. And what was so funny is when I hit him with that, when I set his foot down, he's in the cage, and I see like he's dazed. He literally says, he goes, "Oh shit!" So then, you know, I have my guard up. I go up to him. He throws the right hand again. I slip it, and then, man, what sucks is I missed this punch. This punch would have really messed him up. So I slip it. I swing. Boom. I miss. I come back with my right hand with the right hook. I miss, and then he throws a left straight. I duck it. Come back with a little shovel left hand. And pretty much that's what dropped him. And, you know, I finished with my little minor ground and pound. Dude was out. I mean, I had him face down, ass up on the canvas, which was hilarious because I got messages from people saying that it was an early stoppage, which is crazy. Like, I mean, dude literally was twerking in the air. You know what I mean? Like, so yeah, man, that was it definitely ended a lot faster than I thought it was going to. And actually, I was nervous for that fight because he was 2-0. And I'm like, man, like, you know, in that moment, I'm like, am I as good as I think I am? And these are a lot of things that probably go through a lot of fighters' heads. Like, you know, like you're confident in your preparation because, like, you know, you've done the work you put the work in. But there is that, like, when you're like in the back, you're like, man, what am I doing? What's going on? Like, you know what I mean? Like, this is crazy. And that's happened to me all three fights. And then as soon as I'm about to walk out, it's like a flip, like a fucking switch flips. And then I'm like, yeah, fuck this dude. How dare he? The fact that he thinks he can step in this cage and do anything to me is crazy. You know what I mean? And that's what that kind of fuels me. And I get in there and I take care of business. So yeah, that was a fun knockout, man. I like I said. Oh yeah, and let me also say this. Right before I walked out, Eddie was like, he's like, man, be patient. He's gonna bring it to you. He's gonna show you the opening, and then he showed me, and I took it.
Exactly. You took it, and you won, and then at the end of that, you said, next time you come here, you won't be the main event and for the title.
Yeah, which didn't happen. It was for a title, but it wasn't the main event.
Yeah, it wasn't the main event, but
yeah. Which he should have made me the damn mate. Well, with a fight. I mean, they didn't do a KO of the night on that third fight. I know we're about to talk about it, but yeah, they should have made me the main event because I mean, on a 5-second knockout, holy shit, brother, you know.
And you know what? And actually, when it comes to that, since we're now mentioning it, that title fight against Battles. 5 seconds. I mean, you just came out, you threw that left hook, and he just went down.
Yeah.
And that amazed. I mean, when I was watching the fight, because when we were watching the when me and Wes, we were watching the Baron fight, and we were like, all right, like, because we had some other guys on the cards that we were rooting for because we know we train with some of them.
Mm-hmm.
And
wait, were you there? Were you there that fight?
I wasn't at the fight. I was watching it on YouTube.
Gotcha.
But we were sitting there, and I was like, all right, man, hey, Dakota's fighting. He's been doing this. We got to see it. And then we're like, dang, 49 seconds. So then this fight comes out, and I'm like, all right, I got to watch this one too. And I'm like, I'm ready for this. I'm ready to see what this, like, what's Dakota's made of. I'm ready for his third fight. And all of a sudden, bam, just left hook goes down. I'm like, wow. And then when you mentioned LFA, that sparked a whole bunch of other things in my head, because there's guys that have been in the LFA like Alex Pereira and Gable Steveson, and because he just went to the UFC and got a win.
Yep.
I mean, Sean O'Malley, Usman, like Henry Ceruto, like there's so many people that have been in the LFA. And on August 28th, you're going to be in the LFA. And how do you feel about that? How do you, when you knew you were going to the LFA, what sparked it?
Yeah, so I pretty much knew before my last fight. My head coach Dustin Ortiz came up and was like, "Hey man, pretty much, bro, you take care of business here. You're gonna fight it. You're gonna fight that card." I was like, "Oh yeah, that's awesome." It was literally pretty much right before I was about to walk out too, which is crazy, because it's like, oh, hey, no pressure, But also, I want to talk about, if you want to talk about it, we can, about the knockout. What's really cool about that is, so the week before that, there was an LFA card that I had a couple of teammates that fought on, and the co-main event, this dude came out, faked the takedown, bam, overhand, knocked the dude out in like 4 seconds, and so that's kind of where we got the inspiration to do what we did. And so the whole week we practiced the overhand. And I didn't really like my form too well the way that I threw the punch in the fight, but it's just the way that he was moving. And I just wanted to make sure that I made contact exactly where I needed. So it wasn't necessarily a hook. It was more like a corkscrew, like almost cross in a way, like in between a hook and an overhand, or in between a cross and an overhand, because it was like this, like something like this. Instead of going like this with overhand, it was like more here, but it connected right where it needed to. So I mean, look, man, I don't really care, honestly, in the cage. I don't give a fuck if it looks pretty or not. All I care about is finishing dudes, and if I can finish dudes, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm not in there to make it look pretty. Of course, I want it to, to look, nice and fluid, and like, oh man, look, the head movement, whatever. But if we, obviously we want to win fights, and we're going to do what we got to do to win fights. And if it gets nasty, if it's ugly, then that's part of it, So it's really cool that, man, we actually practiced that the week of, and then pretty much brought it to fruition that night, 5 seconds. It could have been better. It was dope.
I agree with you 100%.
Yeah.
Very dope. Now, let's get into a couple questions here that I got here. So what brought you specifically to Nashville MMA, and how did you know that this was the team for you?
Well, obviously it took me a while to figure out that it was where I needed to be, because you got to get in, get established. But what's crazy is when I decided I was going to start fighting, I was like, oh, I don't know what to do. I had a buddy of mine that my business partner is kind of one of the guys that, like, ex-business partner, who kind of convinced me, like, hey, man, look, I think you should do it, man. He's like, I think you got a shot, bro. I think you can do it. I'm like, I was like, well, I've been wanting to do it my whole life, blah, blah, blah. And then I talked to another buddy who was in the fight game out in California. He was like, yeah, man, you got to do this, this, and this. Go talk to this person, so on and so forth, whatever. And So what's funny is I went to 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu in Brentwood first, because that's where he's like, yeah, let's go there. Well, they were closed. This is what I'm saying. It's just meant to be. It's meant to be. Everything happens for a reason, and it happened the way it was supposed to happen, right? So I go to 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu. They're closed. I call him. He doesn't answer his phone. I'm like, all right, well, what's the next place? Type it on Google, Nashville MMA. Pops up. All right, I'm going to fight whatever. We drive over there, and I go in there, and it's a massive gym. I'm like, okay, I didn't know. Of course, I didn't know nothing. And I walk in. I go, hey, listen, I want to fight, which they hear all the time. They laughed about it. But I said, hey, listen, I'm 27. I was 27 at the time. I said, I'm 27, and if I take this serious, do I have enough time to get to the UFC? If I, obviously there's a lot of factors involved, but is there enough time? Is there that possibility? That's all I need to know. He's like, yeah, you have time. And I said, well, where do I sign? And so I showed up, man, and I got my ass kicked religiously every single day, over and over and over and over again. Kept showing up, and created an opportunity for myself. And some of the coaches there, Ronnie, who's a great friend of mine, Eddie, of course, they saw me and was like, took a chance on me. And so they've just poured into me as much as they could and made me the fighter that I am today. So, and then of course being there, watching the local scene, like the local fight scene of these amateurs and even these pros. And it was like Nashville MMA is the mecca of MMA in Tennessee. Like there's no other gym in Tennessee that, as far as MMA, that really compares. There's some decent ones down in Memphis, but if you want to do something with MMA, Nashville MMA is the place to be, in my opinion. So, we got two ex-UFC veterans, that are our coaches, Ronnie Lawrence, Dustin Ortiz. So, a state-of-the-art facility, you don't see gyms like that, So all the assets that you need to be great. The manager there that runs the place, ex-NFL guy, went to school for. I don't want to butcher that. I mean, he's a strength and conditioning coach too. So you have a strength conditioning coach there to get that in. You got two UFC veterans to coach. You got a great team of guys that that fight, to train with, that are versatile. So yeah, man. I mean, it was meant to be, and I have a lot of good things to say about Nashville MMA. They've treated me well so far.
Okay, I love it. So let's ask you this: how do you handle the mental pressure of a fight week?
That's a great question. So me personally, man, kind of dip into a little bit of my personal life. I've had a lot of trauma in my life, man. And I think that, definitely fighters can relate, because, I mean, you gotta be a little fucked up in the head to fight. You do. I mean, you're literally stepping in a cage and you sign a contract and say, I'm going to allow somebody to possibly injure me for life, or, whatever, however you want to see that, like hurt me, knock me out, whatever, you're willingly stepping into that cage for that possibility to happen. And so, you got to be a little messed up in the head. So I say that to go back to, the trauma part of my life, man. I'm really good at compartmentalizing, right? So when it comes to the mental headspace of where I need to be on fight week, I don't really let the shit get to me. You know what I mean? Like, you're going to have the thoughts of the doubts, like, did I do enough? Is this really where I'm supposed to be? What am I doing? Things like that. But I know that that's just part of it. And I just, like I said, I compartmentalize, put that away, and then go, hey, I've been training my ass off. My coaches believe in me. We're ready for this. Cardio's good. Technique's good. I'm peaking. I'm in great shape. I'm ready, and that, yeah, that's pretty much how I deal with it. Is the compartmentalization of making sure that I'm keeping those bad thoughts, or, the doubts that might be there, in the back of my mind, and focusing on what's in front of me and the things that I've accomplished and what I've done, and knowing that I am ready to step in the cage and go to war.
Okay.
I hope that's a good answer.
That's perfect.
Yeah. I think it's an interesting question because I would actually be curious to see how other people deal with that. And if they don't act like hard asses and they're like honest about it, they're like, oh, it don't affect me, man. I just, you know what I mean? Now I think, there's some guys that probably been fighting for a long time and they're just like, it is what it is. And I'm very chill before a fight. I could take it. Actually I do. I nap, you know what I mean? Like I'll go nap, 2 hours before my fight. I'll go to the car. I've done it. My last 2 fights, I go out to the car, lay back, put my hat over my head, and take me a nap before a fight. You know what I mean? And what's very interesting about also like the fight day or the day before the fight is like the waves of emotions of like your nerves, right? So there'll be times where like I'm, kind of nervous and anxious and feeling it. And then all of a sudden I'll snap out of it and then I won't be nervous or anxious at all. And then like right before I'm about to walk out, I'm a little nervous, a little anxious. And as soon as I'm about to walk out, it's like, it kind of goes away. It's very interesting. How the wave of emotions hit you as you're getting ready to fight. And I think that's what makes it beautiful because, fighting, when you fight and you put yourself, that's going to tell you everything that you need to know about you and who you are as a person. It's the biggest lie detector in the world because it's like, how are you going to handle adversity? Fucking Marshawn Lynch, everybody has a plan till they get punched, till they get hit in the fucking mouth. It's the truth. You think you're a big tough guy. You think you do all this blah 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 blase shit. Whatever you talk. All right, well, let's see what happens when a motherfucker standing next, across from you is an actual killer. You know what I mean? He don't say it. He does it. Then what? So that's also why I love it too, man. It's like it's a big lie detector, bro, and it just tells you everything you need to know about yourself. And I think that's the reason why I fell in love with it.
I like that answer.
Yeah,
great answer. Let's go into this real quick. If you have one, do you have a post fight like favorite celebration meal?
Not really.
No.
I will say this. So so I don't smoke. I don't drink. I don't do none of that. You know what I mean? I'm so laser focused on what I'm doing and what I got going on. Bro, if I go out to a bar, I'm drinking water, Diet Coke, Coke Zero if they got it, But the last 2 times we've been in Jackson, we go to IHOP. So that's been a trend. So not saying that whatever, I'm fighting LFA in Clarksville. That probably won't happen in Clarksville, but I think that we definitely after the fight, we definitely go eat. Now, do I have a preference? No, I don't have a preference. I just need some food of some sort to get in my body. I'm not picky at all. But I tell you what, if I had to choose, because this would just be what I want to eat every day, I want a big, fat, juicy steak.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
Who wouldn't want a steak?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. So I think that if I had to choose, because obviously when you end the fight, it's after you fight, it's late, so most restaurants aren't open. You can't really get a steak. But if I had to choose, man, a big old fat steak, brother, waiting on me after the fight.
Big old tomahawk steak just sitting.
Oh
there.
Yeah, dude, absolutely.
So, if you had a chance, okay, to fight a professional fighter, who would you pick?
I don't know, man. I mean, it's going to happen. I mean, hey, you heard it here. I'm getting to the UFC, so I will be fighting. Man, it's hard to say, bro.
If you want, if you can't pick a fighter to fight professionally, maybe we can even change the answer or the question to spar. Who would you love to spar with if you couldn't pick someone to fight?
Who would I like to spar with? That's a very broad question because there's a lot of. I tell you what, I'd like to spar with Sean Strickland. He came into Nashville when UFC Nashville was here, which is dope. And I was just a little baby in the game. I mean, hell, I still am a baby in the game, but like I was a baby. I'd like to definitely get some rounds in with him. I think it'd be sick. move around with him and get those rounds in with him. That would be cool. Because I mean, when I turn pro, whether it's at heavyweight or light heavyweight, I'm coming for everybody's head. I don't give a shit. So, and God willing, I get to the UFC. I'm fighting anybody. There's some guys that I am, if I do stay at heavyweight, there's some guys that I am looking forward to fighting. If it does happen, Josh Hokett would be super sick to fight. I think that, I actually think that me and him are very similar in size, height, and build. I think his fighting style is similar to mine. He's very quick. He's very good striking. He's also a wrestler. But I'd like to fight Gable, just because I feel like Gable's on a hype train right now. Of course he's an Olympic wrestler. Like, you can't take that away. Like, dude can wrestle, man, but, obviously when it comes to fighting, there's a lot more factors than just wrestling. And I just think he's real hyped up right now because of, John Jones trains him and all this stuff. And, I don't really think he's fought anybody to really expose his striking or anything like that. The last dude that he fought kind of stunned him a few times, but just couldn't get the finish. And Gable he looks tough. I mean, like, he's taking some shots. Looks like he can, he's got a chin on him, but I want to see him fight. I'd like to see him fight Josh Hokett. I'd like to see that, I want to see how he does with that. I mean, personally, I don't think he's ready for Josh. But yeah, I think at the heavyweight, those two dudes would be super cool for me to get my hands on.
Yeah, that, what? And I was actually going to ask you about Gable when you mentioned him. But yeah, Josh, I forgot all about him. But Josh Hokett, I mean, Gable, I mean, but there's still guys that are still around, like Curtis Blades. I mean, Derek Lewis is still there. I mean,
Derek Lewis he sucks. I mean, it's called
Derek. It's weird, right? Because Derek, it's like he's older man, but he changes so much, doesn't he? He's like, there's that one moment where he gets somebody and it's done, and then like the next couple fights he just loses.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. So I mean, but the thing is, if you look at it from a skill standpoint, he's not good. He has a right hand that if it touches you, you're screwed. Which is by all means, if it's all you need, it's all you need, and he's done well with that. But of course, his age, he's a little slower. His cardio is probably getting a little worse. You go up against a guy like Josh Hokett, who, one, can take a punch, and two, get the F out of the way because he's quick enough. He did exactly what I thought he was going to do to Lewis. And everybody's like, "Oh, Derek's gonna knock him out. Knock him out." I'm like, no, he's not. The dude is going to work Lewis, and he did. He worked him and made it look easy. So yeah, man. I mean, Lewis wouldn't even be on my radar. Even if I got to the UFC right now, I'd be like,
oh, of course.
Like, for what? But yeah, Curtis Blades. That's a big scary man. Fighting him would be cool. But yeah, dude, of course, when we get there, I'll be ready for all of them. But yeah, I don't know if I'm going to stay at heavyweight or not. The thing is with light heavyweight now, you're kind of leveling the playing field with, one, strength, and then two, athleticism. Usually guys that are fighting at light heavyweight are going to be more athletic. They're going to be quicker, probably a hair more skillful. So it's like, do we stay at heavyweight until we get to the UFC, then we drop to light heavyweight? Or, do we go ahead and go to light heavyweight and make the run there? We don't know.
Yeah, I'm sure it's a big, tough process. I mean, for the UFC, heavyweights right now, I mean, there's not really a lot of big prospects in my eyes. I mean, the biggest one that tried to come to the heavyweight was Alex Pereira, and then he lost to Cyril Gahn, which that's a big, the back of the head shots and all that stuff. And then Cyril Gahn is that.
I don't want to hear that shit. He wouldn't have won. He wouldn't have won the fight anyways. Cyril Gahn was messing him up, dude. Messing him up. Yeah, that back of the head stuff, that's dumb. You know what I mean? Like, you think that's the reason he lost the fight? No, it ain't the reason he lost the fight.
I don't think it's the reason he lost the fight, because when he went down, I mean, I've seen Cyril Gahn just wailing on one right on the side of the face. I mean,
Yeah.
me personally with Cyril Gahn, I mean, I don't like Cyril Gahn. Just I think he's a great fighter. There's just a lot of things I've seen in past fights. But when it comes to heavyweight, I mean, he's going up against I think Aspinall again because of the I think the eye poke is what messed everything up. So I mean, I'm looking forward to that for a heavyweight fight.
Me too.
I'm really hoping it lasts longer than what
Yeah.
it did the first time.
Yeah, me too.
So let's see. To get into that, what did you I messaged you about the McGregor fight, and I wanted to ask you personally, what did you think about that?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's a tragedy. I had Holloway winning, that which was totally going against my heart, because everybody, I love McGregor. But yeah, that was crazy, bro. I mean, that's just the only thing that I can equate that to is 5 years off, steroids, drying of the tendons and the ligaments, not training, your body not in MMA shape. And then you go out there, adrenaline's going, torque on a kick, probably a little harder than you did backstage or, whatever, because of the adrenaline, tear the ACL, so.
It was sad. Me and Wes, we were at Miller's.
Yeah.
And we were just shocked. We were just like, wow. Like, we didn't think he would come out like that. I mean, I know he's the entertainer.
Yeah.
But we didn't think he'd come out with a flying kick. And then I thought he would be more relaxed. But it happens.
Well, I mean, the kick looked good. I mean, the kick wasn't like spazzy. I mean, he just threw it out there, you know what I mean, and reset. And it was like, oh, my knee. So, I mean, it's hard to say. I mean, other than that, the car. I mean, here's the thing too, man. It's like people that are just consumers that don't fight, they don't watch this shit. They base the event, right? How good it is just on the main event, right?
Mm-hmm.
If the main event sucks, it's like, oh, waste of time, the whole card. But dude, there was some banger fights on that card, bro. Banger fights.
Oh yeah, I mean Paddy Pimblett with Benoit Saint Denis. I mean
that
King
was
Green,
bro. That was by the way, that was insane to me, bro. That quick to BSD, bro. Like that was insane. I was not expecting that. It was so crazy because they were talking about how BSD had an advantage on the feet. And that's what everybody thought. Next thing you know, the motherfucker shoots for a takedown. Like, what are you doing, brother? Like, it's I don't know, man. People's game plans sometimes they trip me out. They're interesting, but yeah, that was a crazy fight. King Green, Terrence McKinney was a crazy fight. That was insane. How that ended, and then the Kavanaugh fight was a crazy fight. I think that was probably one of the best fights tonight, bro. They were going at it. So yeah, man. It's I'm looking forward to McGregor. Hopefully, he's probably ain't gonna fight till next year, but when he does, definitely looking forward to it.
I am too. I think he's got one fight left on his contract, is what I've heard.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping whoever he comes back to is maybe Max Holloway give him a third try.
Well,
never know.
Sorry, bro. I'm tired as hell. He made a post and said it has to be Max. Is what he said. He said he has to fight Max. Is what he said.
Oh, okay. Well, then there we go. So I mean, because Connor won the first time, Max won the second time, so now there's got to be a 3.
Yeah, yeah. And I don't even know if I would. I mean, he did win the second one, but I mean, do you really count it?
Nah. I mean, they do, but.
Of course, yeah. I mean, it's on the record, but as far as like just for what it is, it's like no one really got to see what was actually going to happen. So yeah, dude. Yeah, looking forward to him coming back next year, but it's probably going to be till next year until we see that.
So let me get into some rapid fire things real quick here.
Yeah.
So, could you tell me the 3 best, in your opinion, MMA fighters of all time?
Yeah, in my opinion.
Yeah. Who do you believe?
Yeah, John Jones is number 1. Demetrius Johnson, number 2. And then I probably got to go GSP for number 3.
Love that pick. I love GSP and John
Yeah.
Jones and Demetrius. They're great.
Yeah, I think I got to go. Like that's just those 3 dudes are, yeah. I mean, you can't take Khabib out of the equation. You know what I mean? Like, but when you talk about just all around fighter, Khabib, if you watch his striking, it was garbage.
Oh yeah.
It's horrible. So, that's why I don't even put him in that category. Because he's like, it's not, he wasn't even fun to watch. He just, wrestle fucked everybody, which, hey, good game plan. He did great at it, beat everybody. But, when you talk about somebody that can fight and like their fight IQ, I mean, Demetrius Johnson, in my opinion, I studied a little bit on him and of him, on YouTube, watched the videos. His fight IQ is crazy fight IQ he has. So, yeah, those would be my top 3.
All right. 3 favorite meals.
Steak.
We know that one.
Damn. Put me on spot. Fruity Pebbles.
All right.
Third favorite meal. Sushi. Ha! Boom. That was it.
Sushi, steak, and Fruity Pebbles.
Yeah, with a Coke Zero.
We can add a drink. That's perfectly fine.
Man, I could go get some sushi tonight. They close at 9. Golly, brother. I should have went and got some sushi. I wasn't even thinking about that. Man.
What are for your opinion, 3 combat sport GOATs?
Just overall combat sports.
Any combat sport.
Sanchai, who is like the godfather of Muay Thai. Muhammad Ali. Dang. I don't really know much kickboxing. So I went Muay Thai, I went boxing, and then MMA, John Jones.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say overall. I mean, there's probably, I'd probably say that's. I feel like that's a pretty solid pick right there, in my opinion. Yeah, that's good.
Okay. What are the 3 best fights you have ever watched?
Israel Adesanya and the fights in the Hall of Fame.
Which fight?
It starts with a G.
Gaslam?
Gaslam, yep.
Kelvin Gaslam. Kelvin Gaslam.
So that their first fight, brother, insane.
Okay.
My second probably I have to go because it's recent. I got to go Hokett, Curtis Blades.
That was a great fight. I mean, me and Wes witnessed that whole thing.
That was an insane fight. I'm trying to think. I know off the top of the dome it's going to be hard to think back, but I think you got to put the Gaethje Topuria fight on there. White House card.
That surprised me for some reason.
Yeah, I think it surprised a lot of people. I had a feeling that it wasn't. I had a feeling though, bro, that like, I had a feeling that there was a possibility of that happening, or a possibility of Gaethje really making it a fight. Did I think that he was just going to beat the brakes off Topuria? No, I didn't. I didn't think that at all. That was a ball from left field. That was crazy. That was insane. It's like it's like Topuria had no respect for him at all. Like in his distance, he was just letting Gaethje just tee off on him almost. You know, in the beginning, like Gaethje was just jab, jab, jab. You know what I mean? I don't know, it's crazy, bro. So I'd have to say those are probably my 3 top. I probably have another one in there if I had to really think about it, but I'm just not going to sit here and sit in silence while I think on this. You know, while we're doing
Oh
this.
yeah, I mean, plus there's so many. I mean, it's hard to pick 3 or even 5 sometimes.
Oh yeah, bro, absolutely.
Let's go. Top 3 music artists.
I had to pull out my phone. Drake. Drake. Who else do I listen to a lot? Kevin Gates. And then are you still there?
Oh yeah, I'm here.
And if I do this, are you still there?
You're dark. Now you're back on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I was gonna go look. Golly, who else do I listen to? 3 artists. It's with these questions, I always have a tough time with them because like I listen to, especially with the music. I'm so versatile in what I listen to, and I could be on an artist for a while at that specific time. Like Sleep Token, love Sleep Token, man. You know, so yes, I'd probably say those are my top 3 at the moment. Drake's always number 1. Like I love Drake. And then Kevin Gates, can't ever go wrong with Kevin Gates. And then we'll go Sleep Token for 3.
Okay. So this final one here, because I always wanted to ask, because I always try to wait for the big event that's about to come up. Not this one this Saturday, but the next big event is Islam Makhachev versus I don't want to say his middle name. Yeah.
Ian Machado.
Yeah, something like that. I can't pronounce these names. We try. But yeah, Gary, what is your prediction for this main event?
I know one thing. That dude's a fucking cuck, dude. I know that. The interview that I just saw him do, bro, like soft. Like that's crazy. He fights as good as he does. Dude's like he's just a. No, I'm not even gonna get started on what I think and the things that he said. But I just saw somewhere his brother called him out on the stuff he said, saying that like he had a great life and the things he was saying was BS, but we won't get into that. I think Islam Makhachev is the man right now, pound for pound, in my opinion. I think that his striking is good. His wrestling is obviously, I mean, come on now. You know, it's Khabib's little protege, right? So,
yeah.
I think he's pound for pound the best right now. And I don't think – now, Ian Gary's striking is great. And if he can get off on Islam, that's probably the only way that he's going to have to beat him. But I think if Islam takes it to the ground – it's over. And it's probably going to be a boring fight. It's probably going to be a boring fight for a consumer. You know, someone like – and I'll say this for people that are watching. If you don't train, listen to me. It is incredibly hard to continuously hold somebody on the ground, especially when they're like somewhat fresh, to hold them there and immobilize them and keep them from moving. It is extremely hard to do that to a human being, especially to a human being that's of that level that has been training for God knows how long. And to see another guy hold them down, people just don't understand how impressive that is. I mean, it really is crazy, crazy, crazy impressive. So, but yeah, if that happens, from a consumer standpoint, it'll be a boring fight. But if it stays on the feet, you know, I give Ian a chance.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. Like most people may think it's a boring fight, but I think once you get in there, or not even get in there, I mean, once you even go to a gym and train and feel what it's like, you know, do some sparring rounds, do some grappling. Because I mean, when I did it, I mean, when I started getting punched in the face, and I was getting caught so many times, I was getting frustrated.
Of course,
I was like, wow, like I can't do nothing.
Yeah.
And then, you know, I started developing more and more, and then the grappling part, I mean, yeah, I have the strength to hold someone, but when they get on top of me, you just can't move.
Yeah, brother.
And you're,
Yeah,
makes
and
it
by the way,
exhausting.
I'm a big, strong fucker, dude, and and I can use strength a lot of times to get out, but I can only use strength so many times, and then I'm going to be tired. So if I got somebody that, like the big guys I grapple with, Andrew, Finn, Blake, these big guys, I can get them off of me once or twice and get them, in a decent position. Of course, they come right back and, they're countering whatever. Well, once I do that, once or twice, now I'm just like along for the ride. You know what I mean? If I ain't got no technique. So, you got to learn technique. And I want to say this, especially with the grappling, and especially if you're watching the sport, right? You're like, oh, watching grappling's boring. It's like golf in that way, right? It's like you watch golf. How do you watch golf? Well, then you go learn how to play golf. You get good at golf. You realize how impressive it is that these pros on a consistent basis can go to these crazy courses and shoot 5 to 10 under par every time. And you're like, holy shit. And then you watch it, then that's when you're like, oh my God. So yeah, if you were a regular consumer and you step into a gym and really started learning the craft, the art, right? And learn just how difficult these things are. And then to watch it at a high level, well, yeah, there's a different level of respect there, right? So that's the best, that's the best way I can explain it to put it to a perspective where you would, people would understand.
Makes sense.
Yeah, man.
I tried golf once. I can
It's
hit it
hard,
pretty well.
It is. Hard?
It is hard.
It's one of my favorite things to do, dude. I love to golf, man. It's like it's one of my favorite things, my favorite pastimes to go out there, release some stress, hit a few golf balls, But once you learn how to play it, brother, it's fun, and you can play it until you die.
Yeah, the last time I went golfing, I accidentally broke the club.
Oh man.
And the people behind me started laughing. I was laughing too. I was like, well, sorry about that. Swinging a little too hard.
That is hilarious, bro. Yeah, it happens, man. It's you hit the ground too hard, break the head off, break the shaft, whatever. It happens. But yeah, dude. I mean, I'm definitely looking forward to that card. I'm looking forward to this weekend. Really, I think there's gonna be some good fights this weekend. Hell, bro. Like, and speaking of, before we probably hop off here, do you have any more questions for me?
I don't think so. I think my list is, I think it's a little cleared out.
Any off the top of the dome?
Dome?
Yeah, off the top of the dome. You got anything to ask?
Where'd you get the nickname Rooster from?
Great question. Fantastic question. So my teammate, Blake Mitchell, he came in, he was like, you know what, dude? He said, you got to remind me of a rooster. Yeah, you come in here, your chest out, you're confident, the way you walk, He's like, that's going to be your nickname, Rooster. And I was so against it because I'm like, Rooster, that's so good. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, that's dumb, man. Like, and then my buddy Chad, who also had a part in it, he's like, that is a sick nickname, dude. You know what I mean? And so I kind of just, eventually I just accepted it and for what it was. And, I was like, well, I guess I'll just be Rooster, man. So that's how I got my nickname, man. It, just the way I carry myself, my confidence and just how a rooster would carry himself in a pen, man, cock of the walk, walking in there. Everybody knows he's there, and he's the boss in there, man. So that's kind of how I carry myself.
I like it.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So Rooster's here to stay, brother. It's here to stay.
And I can't wait to hear it in the UFC.
Dude, God willing, brother. It's going to happen, man. We're working every day. Like I said, I've wagered my whole life, man, for this. I've adjusted everything. I've done everything to train twice a day, every day to do this, and, if we've come up short, we come up short. That's okay. I did everything I can to, like I said, I did everything I could to get there, but I don't believe that's going to happen, man. I really believe that I really believe, bro, that like this is where I'm supposed to be, man. Martial MMA has changed my life, bro. It really has in a lot of ways. It's changed my attitude. It's changed like my perspective on how I see things, how I handle situations. I'm not really like, I used to be a really angry dude, and trust me, that guy's still in there. But I feel like it's chilled me out a lot. And I think it's chilled me out a lot to a point like, man, when you go in there and you train hard and you're beating the crap out of each other, you know what I mean? Like when you're done, you're like, I'm not trying to fight nobody. I don't want to, you know what I mean? I don't want to argue with nobody. I'm not trying to do nothing. I'm just trying to chill. I just went to war with my boys for a whole hour. We just beat the shit out of each other, so it's changed my life, man. And I'll forever be grateful for MMA. And, I wish I could have gotten to it sooner, but we didn't. And we're here now.
That's right. Well, it has been an hour.
Yeah.
Awesome. Love it. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is it for this week's episode of Teep Talk. I have been your host, Russ, and this is Dakota the Rooster Ballard. We wish him luck in the LFA. May the Lord be with him in his fight. And send this, because this is what we do in this episode, send this Teep Talk to your local farmers because of the rooster name. When you decide to go to a farm and you're working out there on the ranch, or maybe you're just getting some eggs and you see your rooster and you see that farm, you'll be like, hey, you know what brought me here today? Teep Talk.
Teep Talk, baby. Let's go. Thanks for having me on, brother. I really appreciate it. I'm a talker, bro. You know me. So whenever I get a chance to hop on somewhere and chop it up, man, I love it. So once again, bro, thank you for having me. And yeah, we'll do it again. We'll as we progress in our career, man, you know what I mean? We'll keep doing it.
Of course. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, brother.
All right. Thank you, man. Appreciate you.
Peace.